Hey guys, so I just got back from church and I just knew that I needed to make a video after I had heard what the pastor was talking about, because it is something that I definitely needed. And the guy was awesome. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Jim Gaffigan, but he's a pretty cool comedian, a stand-up comedian, and he looks almost exactly like him, and his name is Jim. So he was a guest speaker at the church I've been going to, but what he was talking about was remembering the Lord, and I'm like, okay. And he talked about how remembering the Lord your God, it will keep you out of danger, and I was like, okay, you know. A scripture that I want to read to you real quick, let me find it. First of all, let me just say that after coming home from a church camp, it's a culture shock, because you come from, you know, getting Jesus shoved in your face to coming back home and seeking him on your own. So of course there's going to be battles, and the people that you went to church camp with are going to have battles, and it's just going to add on to your battles. But that's what I've been dealing with. And I mean, it's not so much the after church camp thing, it's just the remembering Jesus part. And that's what I learned a lot at Youth America, was that despite where you are and despite what's going on, you got to remember Jesus. So when he was talking about remembering the Lord your God here at church today, I immediately thought back to whenever Monica was saying that at Youth America. So Deuteronomy 8:2 says, "And you shall remember all the way which the Lord your God will lead you these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble you and to prove you, to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not." Sometimes God allows us to go through things. He allowed the children of Israel to go through the wilderness for 40 years, even though the trip out of the wilderness would have taken them only 8 days. Literally, that's exactly how much it would have taken, but he let them wander around for 40 years because they were not strong enough on the inside yet. I mean, God, He had done all these miracles for them, but they still doubted him. I mean, he made bread fall from the heavens and whatever, and they're like, God, why aren't you helping us, you know? And that is definitely my attitude lately. I mean, God's done so much in the past 3 months, and then something small happens to cause me to doubt, and then I'm like, whoa, I don't care what it looks like, and I don't care who leaves. God said that he would do this, and he's not a liar. And the devil can try and kick and scream, but he's not going to get me to give up. And today at church, I just really needed what he had to say. I'm just going to read a little bit of the notes. It says, remember who he is. It's like he's saying it to you. Remember who I am. Don't you know who I am? He said there are 3 dangers to forgetting the Lord your God. The danger number 1 is you have no direction. Danger number 2 is you have no protection. And danger number 3, you have no hope for the future. If we forget God, it's easy to get distracted, and when we start relying on ourselves because we forget God, we start relying on ourselves, and we lose focus, and then we lose direction, and then we're just plain lost. And I have definitely been there. I mean, ever since January 1st, like I said in my last video, it was hard because I lost focus and I didn't trust in God, even though things looked so messy, you know. I mean, one thing that the pastor used as a illustration today was he was talking about how his son was so deathly afraid of tornadoes and storms. Like, I used to be that way when I was younger, but he was so deathly afraid of storms and stuff. And one time he heard that there was going to be some storms and his son was at school. He was like, I need to go get my son, because he freaks out really bad. He's like, God, please help me just get my son. You can let the storm hit after. Well, that didn't happen. The storm alarms, the tornado sirens started going off, and the people at the school were like saying, okay, get in here, your kids will be okay, stay here. And he was like, nobody messes with my kids. So he goes to the 4th grade classroom, and he sees all of these kids hovered up in a ball along the side, like they make them do at school. And he sees his son over in the corner crying, and he goes over there and puts his hand on the back of his head, and he goes, Daddy is here. And his son looks up at him with eyes of relief, even though he was crying. Just his dad was there. He didn't expect his dad to be there, but his dad was there, and in the midst of the storm, and in the midst of his chaos, he felt his dad's hand on the back of his head, and he heard his dad say, "Daddy is here." And he used that illustration to say that no matter what is going on, even the storm that's happening, even if God doesn't stop the storm, he is definitely going to be right there, and he's going to protect you, and he's going to make sure that you're okay, that you're not alone. He's going to make sure that you feel that comfort of his hand on your head. And that really touched me today. And the hope that we have, we can't let go of, because without the hope we lose the vision, and without the vision, where's the future, you know? And then he said one more thing that I gotta say, is it says, stop questioning God and start trusting. That is definitely what I needed to hear. And if any of you guys are watching this and everything I just said really registered with you, and you really needed that too, like it and share this video. I mean, I feel like a lot of people need to hear this. If you guys have any prayer requests or anything that you need, just let me know. You can message me, you can visit my Facebook page, and I have an Instagram and a Twitter, and I'll link those down below. Don't forget to check out my blog. I love you guys so much, and thank you for everything.